Welcome to the Dark Horse Paranormal Podcast. This is episode number 4, and I am Chris Carr.
And I'm Kristen Johnson.
And we have one hell of an episode tonight, don't we, Kristen?
Yes, we do. We're talking about the Evil AM Band.
And what the AM Band is about was when we went to a certain place.
The undisclosed location.
The undisclosed location, which I will not tell you about, being in central Massachusetts in a well-known haunted area. But they have a sign out front that says no paranormal investigation. So
this is why we call it that.
There, and we really don't want to send people there, but you know, we've talked about that other places, right?
Right. Like Bigfoot and the Bunny?
That's right. Bigfoot and the Bunny, which is on every Tuesday night.
At 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
That's right. And check us out, www.uprntalkradio.com, or catch us live streamed and be able to see us on YouTube at United Public Radio. United Public Radio, which is Joe Montalo's network.
That's right, from Ancient Aliens.
Is streamed every day on YouTube. All you need to do is search for United Public Radio on YouTube, and you'll find the live stream. We are also live on the air
at 107.7 FM New Orleans.
That's right. If you're in the New Orleans area, you can catch us
every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
9 p.m. Eastern.
That's right. Anyways, step back, relax, and let's get this mother rolling. We don't practice Santeria, but we have a crystal ball. Went to the Houghton Mausoleum and we heard it all.
Wait, what?
So, getting back to this Evil AM Band. So, this is something we came across. We went to the undisclosed location, as mentioned earlier.
Right, is a cemetery. We're going to put it out as that.
Yeah, it is a cemetery, and it might be hosted by a certain religious group.
Yes,
and it might be in Central Mass.
Maybe Quakers or something.
It might even have the name Gates in it, but...
Ooh. That gives you something to think about from our last podcast, where I sing the Itsy Bitsy.
Something. But, however...
We got this one name from the undisclosed location, the cemetery.
That's right. Her name was Abigail
Houghton.
And we found out there was an Abigail Houghton actually buried in this cemetery.
But it's really bizarre because there are no stones with the name Houghton on it.
Correct.
So if you go to the website, www.findagrave.com,
you can look this stuff up.
And come to find out, there was an Abigail Houghton, but they didn't use her maiden name.
Correct.
So that led us
down another rabbit hole.
On a huge rabbit hole.
That's right.
So
where did we go then?
After we looked this up, we found out that there was this Houghton Mausoleum in Hope Cemetery.
Which is in Worcester, Massachusetts. Not too far from what?
Slightly undisclosed location now.
Slightly undisclosed location. And we went there. And, you know, looking up the Houghtons, we also found out there is a big legend about the Houghton Mansion, which is in a different part of Massachusetts, but not too far away.
But this mausoleum has been broken into at Hope Cemetery 3 times. The last time, this guy said that he was a high priest of Santeria.
Mm-hmm. And he wanted the bones, right? He stole the bones.
He stole bones.
Including adults and children?
Yes.
Yes, and he was using them in rituals, apparently. And someone ratted him out.
Yeah, you got caught.
Imagine the curse upon that person.
Mm-hmm. Another podcast altogether.
Totally. However, we found this intriguing enough to make our way over to Hope Cemetery and check out the Houghton Mausoleum, which we have pictures of on our Facebook website, Bigfoot and the Bunny and Dark Horse Paranormal. Mm-hmm. Also, we're on Instagram, and you can see those pictures as well.
Oh, and we tweet now, so we're on Twitter.
That's right. We're twitting.
We're twitting. We are twitting.
However, we went there, and that was our next stop after the first visit to the
undisclosed location.
Shh.
Slightly now.
It's very slightly undisclosed. And when we started off using FM band with our S box, our Spirit box.
We have the S box, and we also we filmed it like we film everything else. We
have film of this
video. Everything we do,
and we got a bunch of stuff on there.
It was of course way too much stuff.
So we were like, oh, we don't know what's going on, and we switched over to the AM band.
Yeah, because it was just so chatty, and we were like, oh, we just must be picking up something, else in radio stations and
kind of thing that would come to return. But anyways, long story short, we switched over to the evil AM band. Mm-hmm. And what did we hear?
Speak.
Yep, we heard.
Oh no, you're doing the sound effects.
Speaks, and that's all we got.
We were so confused, and then it would go. It speaks woods.
So this is the first track that we recorded, or a little bit of it, from the Houghton Mausoleum. Do you have a message for us?
Are you able to tell us?
Who's inside here?
So we go back to the slightly undisclosed location with the gates.
Yeah. An itsy-bitsy thing. Thingamajigga.
And we set up on the back wall, which actually that's where we got our first Class A EVP from. Yes, Rock 'Twas Old.
Rock 'Twas Old. And the old, seemingly old American language. Yep.
Yes,
very good. Very cool. But this is great. We again started on the FM band, and we're getting all kinds of stuff, and it was so much we didn't know it was really happening. And upon listening back, of course, there was...
Of course, like every time else.
Lots of things. There's a repeating name you'll hear at the end of it, Jacob. Mm-hmm. And when we're going to switch to the AM band, it stops on an FM station.
Yes.
And it has the most curious little bit of audio. So listen to that and what it actually says, because we can't figure out what this could have possibly come from. And
it's just so bizarre. And there's another podcast in between this after. We keep seeing feathers.
Right. We'll have to talk about the feathers in another podcast. The feathers keep making an appearance for some reason in our lives, which ties in with that little bit of audio.
That's right.
Right.
That's where it came from.
Mm-hmm. Seemingly. Oddly enough. And you're going to hear us freak out a little bit. I am a little shocked when it starts doing it again.
And I'm freaking out quite a bit.
So much so, I've actually bleeped one of these words.
Yes.
Because it really can just be chatter.
Who's around me? How to delete.
With Angel. Work it out.
Scanning AM.
This is what we did with the Houghtons, correct? Can you imagine if we did the same stuff?
I just heard something go... If you were trying to speak through us before, through this box, or changed it slightly, please try again. We'd love to talk to you. It'll help us communicate. We want to know if you have a message for us. No, it's not. What I did here, a real weird. We turn it up a little bit. It sounds loud. Oh my God, it is.
It's fucking saying the same thing. It's saying the same thing.
I just heard it say speak.
It's saying the same thing.
So we were definitely a little freaked out by that. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, we're in a different location. There's got to be a way to debunk this. So I'm looking at the dial to see where, we're getting hit and speaks. And do notice that there are parts of the dial that, did have radio stations and audio. And I'm thinking, all right, well, that must be what's doing it. And it's just this way the radio works and it sounds that way. And I tried reversing the direction of the sweep and seemed to have no bearing. And then I slowed it down. And this for sure had no bearing, except we got a few more words, but not necessarily where we should have. So listen in. The little quick sentence you hear there before the speak is saying in the woods. Here you go.
What is your name?
Oh, jeez.
Speak. Let's go in the other direction. And a note, stations, you got words on. So this. A little slower. What is your name?
So we were really shocked about that.
Blown away. That last speak just had us silent, just staring at it going,
Yeah.
oh my God.
There's no way.
We didn't say anything for like 5 seconds.
I can't believe it just said that. Oh my God.
Wow. Slow down. Speak.
It was creepy as heck.
Yeah.
It really
definitely was creepy. We took all this home. We had a really another session that was really good, and some of that is in the last podcast about Toby on the same day, and we had all this like really, really cool data to go home and check out, and we were all excited. We were like, yeah, we get some Coronas, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
We're gonna listen to our stuff. And what happened, Chris?
Well, we both busted open a Corona, and we're sitting there, and we're listening to this darn AM band.
Mm-hmm.
And
just the AM band.
Just the AM band alone. And because we were so intrigued by this and creeped out, but we had to listen to it. And I don't even think I finished half a Corona, and I got extremely ill.
We both did.
Physically and mentally ill.
Yep.
Chris got really ill.
Yep. I actually ended up in the bathroom, and I want to get the detail there, but yeah, I was not feeling well at all.
And
just like suddenly too, I was like fine.
Yeah,
like, we were excited.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be great. And like after a few minutes of listening to this AM band stuff, it was like we channeled it.
Weird, yeah.
I don't know. We didn't mean to.
Right.
But we both got sick.
I shut down, like I was in the fetal position and just wanted to, I felt so gross and depressed. And like Chris said, he got really sick.
Yep. So, yeah, that was it for the Coronas and the good time. And
the entire night. It was just blown.
We were just done.
We
went to bed early. We were like, we both felt horrible. So that was the data review that night. No, I think it was the next day we came back to your house.
Yes, we came back to my house, and I said, Chris, just for the hell of it, we went out and we sat on my front porch, and I said, just for the hell of it, put on the AM band. I want to hear, if we get anything like this,
Yep. And
sure as
Heck.
Yes.
Sure as heckany. It started again. We could hear the It Speaks. Well, it showed us that it either came with us or we can channel it.
We can actually channel it. I think we channel it.
And we have more clips coming up where we are in disclosable locations. We did them from our houses.
Yes, we did.
And actually, the next set of clips is clips that we did at my house.
Right. We were having a bit of an argument.
We were having a lover's quarrel. And oddly enough, the voice starts to say things like, it speaks anger.
And then it started saying, let it speak anger, anger.
And then we also start hearing a couple other voices in there, one of which we identify as Frank Houghton, who we're going to be talking about most likely in the next podcast because we have lots of clips of him, and also the cartoon villain.
The cartoon villain voice is funny.
He says things like freaky
and spooky and
creepy. And yeah, so take a listen. He's in this one now.
Are Toby and Abby buried in there with outside the grounds?
Or inside, in that general area.
The next clip is Let It Speak Anger, Anger, and we've played it twice for you.
So the second time, I slowed that down a little bit so you could hear it more articulately. This next clip is really interesting. You're going to hear the Let It Speak Anger, but we actually get another voice in here, and this is the voice we attribute to
Frank Houghton.
And he himself says, let it speak. Then he says what I think is piss off.
But it sounds like it's in an old English accent.
Right. And then he says a couple other things, and it may be that he says piss off like 3 times, but we're not 100% sure. Have a listen. Here it is.
Is this really Frank? Who are we speaking to? Frank, or whoever, tell us your story so we can find you.
So if you notice, the creepy voice that says it speaks and it speaks anger actually says it speaks Frank after we heard from Frank, which is another reason why we think that is, in fact, the Frank Houghton.
Right. A week later, we came back to my house.
Yes, we did.
And we decided to do a session here as well on the AM band. And literally, I don't know if it's calling us hybrids.
Or making some reference to something else that's a hybrid. It made us, start to think, are we talking to an alien?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh my God.
This is an alien, a demon. Are demons and aliens the same thing?
We have no idea.
It's just some kind of entity. We kind of believe this voice to be some non-human entity or possibly part of Frank's psyche. We aren't sure yet.
We aren't sure, yes.
So stay tuned, for more on Frank, but
yes, this is going to be our next clip. Is going to be hybrids, and this is from my house.
You guys are the chaotic energy that's going on to let us help you speak. How do we fix it?
So that was actually two different clips we did at the Wonderful Bunny's house, a.k.a. Kristen. And in both those clips, we can hear the hybrids word. And as we mentioned, we're not sure if it's telling us we're hybrids or what. But the second clip kind of ends with, we'd like to think forgive, but it may be something more unpleasant.
Yeah, I think it's more like F-U, but...
Yeah. But you can rewind and listen to that if you want a little bit more closely. The next clip is, it says... It
speaks English speak.
Right, which gives us even more questions. Now it's saying English speak, and what does that mean? It's almost like it doesn't have a good grasp of vocabulary.
Right, or it's ancient dialect. I don't know. It's ancient.
Yeah. We actually got ancient Incan demon in one of these things.
We did.
On a spirit box too. So I don't know. We don't have all the answers, but we're trying to put together the story.
It's a whole puzzle. It's a huge puzzle.
It's a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Here is It Speaks English Speak. In this next clip, the voice tells us it speaks ravens.
And lament.
Which is pretty powerful when you stop and think about that. Lament, of course, being a intense sorrow, an intense loss. And ravens, through many cultures, are generally a harbinger of death.
Right.
I know in Germanic cultures, they were considered the ghosts of the murdered. And I believe the Swedish said they were the souls of murdered people without Christian burials. And certainly this goes back through the Irish cultures and Greek and even Native American. Most often they are thought of as bad luck. So here is
Ravens and Lament.
And that's going to do it for another episode of the Dark Horse Paranormal Podcast. I've been your host, Chris Carr.
And I'm Kristen Johnson.
And you can check us out on our other show, Bigfoot and the Bunny, which is live. And you can see it live Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can hear us on www.uprntalkradio.com. We're also streamed live on YouTube by United Public Radio. If you search YouTube for United Public Radio, look for their live stream Tuesday nights at 9. That is us. And we're also on the air where?
107.7 FM, New Orleans.
That's right, baby. And we hope to see you soon. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.